Hey guys, we've got another cool design to take a look at from Unquiet Hands. They of course are the makers of the revolver knuckle roller and the atrium spinner that are both fantastic designs. This time around it's a bar spinner, and I know what you're thinking. Speedy doesn't care for many bar spinners. And generally, yes, I prefer a try to a bar design, but this one does it right. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is the Arcade by Unquiet Hands. I love the name because instantly it reminds me of some fond childhood memories. Back in the day, I had an original Nintendo system, which sparked my love for video games. And then I discovered my local arcade, a place filled with flashing lights and sounds designed to draw you in like a moth and suck the quarters right out of your pocket. The graphics were much better than any home systems at the time, and there was nothing quite like a group of friends huddled around a machine cheering each other on. Anyway, I don't know the inspiration behind this spinner being named, but that's just what I instantly think of. If you are familiar with the atrium spinner, the 3-armed version, you'll notice that it takes that design concept and puts it into a bar style. This arcade is the stainless steel with mirror polish, and it looks amazing. This type of polish will be prone to fingerprints, but when it looks this good, I consider it worth it. Like always, Unquiet Hands doesn't short you on the loot, as it includes a nice certificate of authenticity, both a hybrid and stainless bearing for different spin characteristics, an extra set of different grips, a bearing removal tool, stickers, microfiber to keep it nice and clean. I've always said that Unquiet Hands is the best value in the business, with high quality, unique designs, all the goodies, and at very reasonable prices. That kind of sounds like a commercial, but it's true. And the owner, Tom, he's a great guy and really active in the community, so that's always a good thing. I prefer the cupola grips, which I have installed here, which are concave with a steeper ridge on the edge and a generous chamfer. But the canopy grips they give you as well are just as comfortable, with an extra machined ring just inside the edge, providing a little more friction for the grip. Tom was nice enough to send along a couple extra grips for me to check out, so let's take a look at those. First we have the version 2 of the cupola style, and they are an excellent improvement. The concave center is not as deep, but the real showstopper is this rounding of the peak edge. Instead of coming to a point like the version 1s, like this, it's more of a plateau, and the result is way more comfort. They remind me of Poe-style grips, and those of you with cocoons will know exactly what I mean. It's funny how such a small tweak from the original can have such a huge improvement. And it's not like the version 1s are bad, they're like very comfortable, but just that small little change made a big difference. Next up we have some antique brass collider grips. Typically I stay away from brass because whenever I try to get that natural patina it ends up looking gross, and my OCD just takes over and I have to clean it. Unquiet Hands takes that stress away by spending some time tumbling and applying brass black to create this beautiful and, more importantly for me, a uniform look to the patina. I'm not sure the lighting here can show you exactly what I'm talking about, but it's very well done. Like the rest of the colliders, they are high profile, allowing you to get a commanding grip on your spinner. And for the small hand crew like me, that's really important on larger spinners. Just like the rest of the colliders, they feel very grippy with these raised rings. And like all their grips, comfortable edges are priority with this hella rounded chamfer. I can't say this enough, makers, make your buttons with very comfortable edges. Especially when we want to put them on a spinner where, you know, it goes right to the edge, so you're definitely feeling the edge of that button. Anyway, back to the star of the show, the Arcade. The arms are flat with a subtle taper towards the ends, with a tritium slot here that points towards the ends, giving you a thicker glow ring when it's spinning. The waist also has a taper that has a subtle start but becomes very pronounced as you get towards the edge. And that's where your finger comes into contact with the body, so that's pretty important. It makes for some insane comfort, especially with this highly polished surface. It's like a warm stick of butter on a silk slip and slide. That was kind of hard to say. Every other edge has been rounded, so the spin experience is as comfortable as it gets. Earlier I had said that I enjoy the Arcade because they did it right, but the comfort is just one part of that. I don't normally care for bar spinners because of the judder or the feedback from shifting the spin. That's not real pleasant for me. The greatest mass ratio on the Arcade is right in my sweet spot, so that judder is minimized and the spin keeps going strong even when I shift the direction. I get asked what mass ratio is and why it matters, so here's a quick unprofessional explanation. Imagine this spinner was cut like a loaf of bread. Not every piece would have the same mass because the thickness and width of the arcade isn't the same. The slice with the most mass would be roughly in this area, and the closer that slice is to the center of the bearing, the less judder will be experienced as you shift. And the difference from that slice with the most mass in relation to the mass of the entire arm is what I call the mass ratio. A design like the tungsten warhammer with huge hammerheads on the very ends of the arms would have a mass ratio that causes a violent explosion of judder when shifting. The length of the arm also plays a role, but that takes us into an engineer level that I'm not real qualified to explain. So yeah, let's clean this guy up and get a nice close look at it. Phew, she is purty. Hello. So, the arcade is an easy recommendation. Easy. If you prefer bars, it's a no-brainer. Even if you're a try guy like me, the insane comfort, the style, and that mass ratio is perfect for a very pleasurable spin experience. I didn't bust it open, but it has that easy removal housing just like the atrium, and I don't really have a preference between press fit and retention. All depends on the spinner and how it feels. If it makes me happy, I'm happy. If you want to check the arcade out or the other cool stuff Unquiet Hands offers, the link to their site will be down in the description. If you want to chat with me, Tom, or any of the other awesome people on the Daily Fidget, that link will be down there as well. Later. Alright, thank you for watching, and if you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing by clicking the button on the left, and by watching some of the other spinner reviews here on the right. Because without you guys, this doesn't happen.